שלום רב, כאן איריס לקנר, המנהלת והאוצרת של פסטיבל הקולנוע הרומני בישראל, מהדורת 2025. הפעם נמצא איתי במאי הסרט קלרה, דרמה עוצמתית, מרגשת ומאוד מאוד אקטואלית, ושמו סבין דורוכוי. אנחנו ננהל את השיחה בשפה האנגלית. היי סבין.
Hello, Iris. I am glad to talk to you.
In the past, you made documentaries and many articles for TV. Is this your first feature film?
Yes, indeed, Clara is my first feature, and I started working on it for almost 12 years now. Everything started somewhere in the autumn of 2012. And yeah, it took me quite a long time, 11 years, until the film was actually finished and had the world premiere in a film festival in Germany, actually in Cottbus. So that's quite of a ride. It's a decade of work for my first feature. And of course, it's because it's also the financing. It took a lot of time. It's a lot of work to gather the money for my first feature, and in generally for a first feature, it's quite difficult to gather the necessary financing to do that. Film, it's a very expensive art, unfortunately. And yes, indeed, until this moment, and actually also in the same time as I was working for Clara, I was also working for TV documentaries for the national television in Romania, and actually also for private companies. I was doing various types of documentaries that actually helped me a lot in making my first feature, because it kind of prepared me to do that. It's a good training to work with a lot of people from various areas of expertise, from engineers to IT developers, or I don't know, from doctors to scientists or to historians, for example, or guys that work in sports, various types of sports. Uh, so that was a good training to prepare my first feature.
How did you come across the story? Who is the lady who wrote the script?
So the story, as I said, it began everything in 2012. I think it was in November or late October 2012, when I read an article in a Romanian newspaper about a child from the northern part of the country who committed suicide because he was missing his parents who were working abroad to win money for his education, I think. And that was such a powerful thing for me. I don't know. I was literally ravished after I read this article. It was I just couldn't believe that a child of I think he was around 11 years old, 10 years old, uh, to live this drama that dramatically, to commit suicide because he was missing his parents. That really, really impressed me. And I said that this is such a big problem in my country. It was back then. It still is. It's not at that level as it was back then, but it still is a problem. And I said, okay, I have to do this. I have to tell the story because I think it's very important, and I think it's very important for my country, and not just for Romania, because we see this phenomena in many other countries of the world. We see this, for example, for the mothers in Philippines, for example, or we see this in Mexico and USA. Guys from Mexico try to emigrate in USA. We see this in India. They're trying to emigrate to Canada or to Europe. We see this all over, actually, all over the planet. It's the migration is really a problem, and it causes dramas back home, back to the people that are left home. And I said, yes, this is an international subject. It's very important. Of course, many other directors did it, but not so many in my country, and not so many about the Romanian problem, and especially about the children that are left behind by their mothers. That's something what nobody did before, and that's why not necessarily nobody, but very few directors approached this subject. So this is why I wanted to do this. And back then, it was in 2012, I started to develop the story. I knew I couldn't do it in a feature film because I was just 20-ish years old and I didn't know how to, to gather all the money that quickly. And in the end, I said, okay, let's do a short film. And in 2013, just at the beginning of 2013, after a few months of preparation, we shot the first narrative short film, which was Way of the Danube. This is how it was called. That was the seed for Clara. That put the seed into the ground for Clara. This is how it all started. And then around 2016, 2015, a few years after I started developing this idea in the not even a script, this was just an idea. Then through my director of photography, Lulu de Hillerin, I met Ruxandra Ghicescu, who will become our script writer. So I met Ruxandra, who had experience, and I was needing somebody who had experience in script writing in feature form, because I was only doing short films until then. I didn't have experience for that. So this is how I met Ruxandra Ghicescu, the scriptwriter, and we started this journey together very long time ago.
Do you know people who did what Clara did personally? If so, how did it affect you? And what happens to those children? And what happens if they are watched by grandparents and those pass away? What can you tell us about it?
There are so many villages in Romania that most of the working force, so the persons that are between 20-ish years old and 60, even 70 years old, are working abroad. Yeah, that's a reality. It was a reality until since 2007, when Romania joined the European Union. Then this huge migration started to happen, and I saw this in countless stories. Actually, in the meantime, I was preparing for Clara. Somewhere 2015, I think. I did also a series of documentaries about that, about real stories of real people, no, not fictional, not narrative fiction, but real stories. And I discovered so many families that were in the exact position that it's Ionuț and Clara in my movie Clara, and Ionuț being the child of Clara in my movie. And I discovered so many stories that they were exactly the same. Of course, some variations of them. They were left in various countries. For example, many of the parents were working in Italy or Spain. Germany also, yes, exactly, like in the movie. France also, basically in the western part of Europe, depending on the country. But the stories were kind of the same. The drama that was happening back home, back in Romania, was terrible for everybody. So each person that I asked, they were definitely very I don't know, touched by this drama in a way or another. And the problem is that working with all these people, I'm really an empathic guy. I just can't, just do a subject or research a subject just as a scientist. Let's put it that way. I'm an artist and I'm very empathic. I just can't help it. I'm like this all the time. And this really affected me, knowing all these stories, these real stories. Once again, they were documented. They were a documentary series, so they were all real stories. I said, okay, I really want to say the story of this kind of story in a long feature form. I didn't know even that the film will be called Clara. We didn't know that, but I kind of felt the need to do it. And but even though if this thing really touched me and influenced my whole way of seeing this phenomena of migration. Um, I haven't seen real stories that the grandparents passed away. What happens then? I just heard that, heard some cases of real stories like this, but I didn't met the real persons, so I don't know what could be done in this case. Generally, parents after a few years of workings are really trying and striving to get the children and bring them in the new country where they are working, because it's really hard to grow up far away from your parents. But not all of them. It's not possible for all of them. If you're working as a living nurse, as Clara is working, or a babysitter, you can't bring your children with you. It's the family that you're working for. They won't be, you know, they won't accept that, and that's a real problem. But yeah, I haven't seen these cases like firsthand.
The official number in the movie is 6 million, but unofficial number talks about many more. Are or were you obliged to give state data? And actually, it is a known fact that there are places in Romania that are abandoned, or at least it was like that in the past, due to work immigration out of Romania. So, how much of this fact is portrayed in the movie, if at all?
So nobody obliged us to put the statistics at the end of the film. I mean, the text that you see at the end of the film. It was our decision as a crew. We've thought it's important for people to know this. We've thought it's important that people know that Clara is just a representative of the many, many millions of Romanians that are living this drama. And in the same time, she is living in Romania in a kind of a small village by the Danube. It's not totally abandoned, but it's just very few people there. So it kind of presents the reality as it is in many many villages from Romania, which are not totally abandoned. I mean, there are people living there, but mostly it was the case of elder people and children, basically. The main working force was working abroad. And it's an interesting fact that nowadays, I mean, the last 5 years, 4 years, or something like that, little by little, this phenomena is kind of decreasing. It was increasing when I was doing the short film and when I was starting the whole story of Clara, of of my migration movie. This is how it was called at some point. At a point, I didn't know it would be called Clara. Um, but when I was working for this subject, for this migration subject, I found out that at that point, in 2012 and 2013, the Romanian diaspora was the second largest growth in the world after the Syrian refugees. So it was not the biggest diaspora. There are many other diasporas that are way bigger than the Romanian diaspora. For example, the Mexicans are way many Mexicans that are migrated from their country to basically to USA or to other countries, but it was the highest growth rate. So it was I don't know how much, but at some point Romania had around 20 million people and around 5 millions migrated. So that was a lot compared to the population of the entire country. So this is why it was considered the second largest in the world as compared to the population of the country. and the growth rate actually each year, it was a huge rate. People were leaving and emigrating like crazy after 2007. Because the borders were open, you could travel only with your ID card, and that's why people were leaving the country. And okay, I don't know if that answers. I hope this answers the question.
How did you choose the main actress? How did you cast the children?
So, in 2017, so actually around 6 years and a half after I started thinking of doing a long feature film about Romanian migration, after I did the first narrative short film that I was telling you about, which was called Way of the Danube, I was thinking to prepare the long feature form. Actually, I met some years before Ruxandra Ghicescu, the scriptwriter. We knew we were working on that. The story was taking shape back then, and I was thinking, okay, let's do a short film that will be kind of a production trailer, let's put it that way, for the next feature film, Clara. And like this, I wanted to find the actress who will be Clara. So to know who the actress will be many years in advance before actually doing the film. I've thought it's important, especially because it's my first feature film. I wanted to meet and to know her very well, and that's why I started working on that. And on this short film that was intended to be kind of a production trailer, but ended up to be a short film on its own. So a co-production between two production houses from Romania, and we co-produced this together. Like this, I met Olga Török, who is the lead actress from Clara, and I knew from then, from 2017, 5 years before shooting actually Clara. Clara was shot in 2022. So I knew who Clara will be 5 years before actual principal photography, which was very important because she actually kind of saw the whole process of developing the script and the character and everything. She kind of indirectly participated in this and see how the character was evolving. She understood very well what I wanted to do, and I think that was very important. The children's, you cannot find the children's that early on because they are little and children grew up very quickly, and if I will find them 5 years before the moment I was shooting the film, they were way too big, so I couldn't find them like this. For the child in Romania, the one that's playing Ionuț in the film, the son of Clara, I made a pretty big casting in schools in Romania for that, and I found Luca Puia, the lead actor for Ionuț's part. He's also a child of an actress from very near the place where I was born, from the western part of Romania, and I really liked him. I felt from the start when I see his audience, his reading the role. The first moment I knew he's really special, and from the 5 or 7 finalists that we had, uh, he was the best, and I decided to work with him, with Luca. And for the little girl from Germany, she was found through an agency from Germany. I definitely really liked Elena. This is her real name. It's in the film. It's Johanna, because she's so cute, and that's what I was needing. A really beautiful and cute girl that understands the idea of a film, of a camera, and of a film crew. And she was actually the star when we were shooting with her, because she was the cutest, and it was amazing to work with Elena. So yeah, this is how we found the children and the lead actors.
Many Romanians actually work in Germany, so how did you choose that specific town where it was shot?
In 2017, I shot a documentary about a guy from Romania, a really special guy from Romania, that had the force and the tenacity to swim the entire length of the Danube River, which is one of the biggest river in Europe. It has something like 3,000 and something kilometers, which is a very, very long distance. And he managed to swim this whole distance. And like this, shooting for this documentary for 3 months non-stop on the water, I kind of crossed all the important cities and especially capitals that the Danube is passing through. Uh, it was not the first time I was shooting on the Danube. Danube for me is a very big love. I don't know why. I really don't know why. I didn't grow up on the banks of that huge river, but still, it kind of means something for me. I just can't explain it why. And after shooting this documentary about this very special Romanian guy, uh, I kind of found out not just the capitals, but also some really special cities around that are on both sides of the Danube. And like this, I found Ulm. This is how I discovered Ulm in Germany, which is a city on the Danube River. And that was a key important thing in the film because it's happening around the Danube. Um, Clara is living in a small village, as I told you before, on the banks of this big European river back in Romania, which is called Dubova. And she's also working abroad on another city from the same river, which is Ulm. And I really want this thing to be real. I mean, to not to film in a random city in Germany that has a river, but to actually film on the Danube, to be real thing. And I knew about Ulm because I discovered it during my shooting of the documentary. And then I decided to shoot there in Ulm, Germany. So that's the story how I choose that beautiful place by the Danube uh, at the border of two German lands. It's Bavaria and Baden-Württemberg. There are two regions of Germany that are kind of uniting exactly on the river in Ulm.
Can you tell us a bit about the reaction to the movie around the world? Did it receive any awards?
Yes, Clara traveled quite a lot around the world. It started in Europe, in Germany, in Cottbus. It has the world premiere where it also won the prize of the public award. And then we went in Asia, in India, then in USA or South America. It went to quite some festivals around the world. It won also some awards, also in USA, also in Cottbus, international awards, which of course we were very happy about that, and that the people really reacted on it, and also very interesting, very emotional in the same time because I saw that we created a story that is really an international story. Is that the people really all over the world felt it was their story. So it's a really international problem that it's and we found that and somehow it's seems that we managed to say it in a way that people resonate with it, no matter where they come from. So, for example, in India, they told me that they have the exactly same problem from both sides, which was actually very interesting. And they're also receiving a lot of immigrants, for example, from Sri Lanka, and they are also leaving India for a lot of countries that I told you already, for Canada or for Europe, or especially for the powerful countries of Europe, and also for USA, of course. And that was very interesting to see this phenomena happening. Also in USA, people are talking about migration, and in Europe, of course, where we had the world premiere. So everywhere, people kind of felt connected to the story, really understood it.
Was the name of the movie chosen randomly, or is it a certain person behind it, someone you thought about?
Clara is the name of the movie. Clara, it was chosen. The name itself, Clara, in Romanian language means clear, kind of. So it's the idea was if it is on the river of Danube, which is a murky water, it's kind of she's trying to clear up from a situation ish. It was not necessarily that was the reason why we choose it, but it's a good explanation why what I was having in my head when I was thinking about the name for the movie. And yeah, so that's why I that's what it represents. It's a clear judgment, because she needs to clarify some things in order to understand how how things are happening around her, and especially to understand her relation with the little boy, with Jonuts, with her son.
Was the decision to film part of it in Germany only a money and taxes consideration, or were there others on the way?
As I told you before, at shooting the film in Ulm in Germany, and also co-producing it with the German partner, it was Ulm. I was choosing Ulm because I knew I wanted to shoot there someday. I really liked that city when I saw it during the shooting of my documentary there. But of course, choosing Germany as a partner, as a financial partner, as a co-producer, that was a key thing, because we were needing that. Um, we were needing the finance. We couldn't find all the money we needed in Romania, so we needed a second partner, a co-producer, in order to actually do the film. And this is how I met my German co-producer Daniel Ehrenberg. I met him in Tallinn during a co-production workshop during the festival in Tallinn, and we met, and then it was 2019, yes, but we couldn't do it then. Then the pandemic hit, and everybody was kind of, locked down. We couldn't do anything. And after that, in 2021, we got in touch again and we said, okay, let's try this. Let's see if this will work. And we tried it, and we had luck, and we found the financial support from Germany, from ZDF and Arte. So this is why it's a Romanian-German co-production. But from the start, from the very beginning, before even knowing the budget of the film and the financial needs, I knew that I wanted to do it in Germany because of the Danube connection, and I wanted to be in the country that it's the Danube source, and to connect to a country where when the Danube flows into the Black Sea, so which is Romania. Romania with Germany, both countries that are crossed by this mighty European river. So I knew it from the start. It was either Germany, either Austria. At some point, it was also Austria as an idea, and then it became Germany, but it became Germany in the story itself before even knowing the actual budget of the film. So that was not choosing Germany as a shooting country, as a country for the story of the film, was not a reason, a financial reason in the first time. In the first time, it was strictly a story-wise reason, because it connected, because it's the Danube that connects two cultures and two areas of the same continent and two countries. And, yeah.
Do you already have an idea for your next movie?
Well, I have too many ideas for a lot of movies in the future, but definitely I have to choose one. For now, I think for a period of time, I will have to, understand what I learned from Clara, from this experience. And of course, like this, I hope to make a good decision to choose what I will do next, what the subject will be next. But for now, officially, I cannot say what exactly I will work in the future. For now.
Sabine, thank you very much for your time, and I invite our audience to watch this very important and touching movie.
Thank you for the time, and I hope that people will come to watch it.
Thank you.